Yeah, the lyrics alone, knocked his dreads off, call him Randy Moss. Like the lyrics, like no, like people ain't listen to it. Like they're gonna keep dancing. I hear the catchiness. Like yeah, I see why you're dancing, but listen to what you're dancing to. Like you're celebrating this activity, like without knowing. Like yo, listen to the lyrics, turn the music off. Yeah. What's your thoughts on those records? That because I feel like Young Dolph had it in his music here and there, but it's a lot of artists that has that in there.
What do you think, Minister, man? Well, we should probably preface that Minister never says what he thinks. He just drops facts. He drops research. So what is that? What has the research shown us, brother?
I feel like, the old adage of history repeats itself. It's not true. We repeat history when we don't learn from the past. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell young cats, whatever mistakes you make new ones. Many of the young cats who followed us, now I'm 51, and as I read these reports of us losing our artists, and I just got to keep it a buck, we still haven't learned jack shit from losing Tupac and Biggie and Big L and Freaky Ty. Okay. For some reason, we keep having this Groundhog Day, and the Groundhog Day is becoming worse and worse and worse. Okay. I also look at this as kind of a cultural war, if you will. I'm going to rewind you back into the memo that was put out by J. Edgar Hoover to his agents in the field after the assassination of Chairman Fred Hampton, where he says that once we got Fred Hampton off the set, we need to make Black youth understand that if they choose to be revolutionaries, they will be dead revolutionaries. Later in the memo, he says, why can't these Black youth choose to be artists and athletes where American society will, they will be beloved by American society as opposed to being despised? So I kind of look at it in part as being socially engineered into certain things. And then when you get them into certain spots, now you begin to use their culture against them. Okay. And like I said, I've seen this happen, and I can take it as far back as bebop and how revolutionary bebop was, and how when the FBI was having surveillance on bebop artists, I'm talking Charlie Parker, I'm talking Thelonious Monk, I'm talking Dizzy Gillespie, where they felt that bebop in particular was introducing young people, particularly young white youth, to marijuana. And Brother Sekou, you may have remember when the DuPont family put out it was a documentary they put out called Reefer Madness. Okay. And the reason why they put it out was because they saw what cannabis and hemp would do to destroy their particular industry. So they had to criminalize hemp by coming with this thing called Reefer Madness. And this is one of the ways how music and basically culture has been used as a weapon to destroy certain things. So because those entities saw the golden era of hip hop, and they saw what it was able to do to get us to stop going to the club and have us going to Minister Farrakhan lectures, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Asante lectures, we need to change that narrative back into from being guerrillas to gangsters. Okay. So I'm kind of giving you a little historical context to say this is nothing new. It's just the weapons have gotten more sophisticated and the consequences have become more fatal.
Definitely.
So are you saying like the elders who keep saying it's all about the music? These young folk just keep listening to the wrong music, and it's the reason that they're doing all this stuff is the music. You're saying that it's been contrived.
And see, those people don't help matters much because you can't, Peter Todd says you can't blame the youth of today. Okay. How can we blame these young people without having to look back at a Millie Jackson or Denise LaSalle who were putting out similar raunchy lyrics? Okay. So I don't get into critiquing young people because they didn't learn this in a vacuum.
Yep.
They had to get it from somewhere, somehow. And I think sometimes those of us in older generations, we have a nasty habit of being hypocritical and passing the buck and putting the weight on the youth. When the youth didn't know where they get it from, they just picked it up from like I said, they didn't get this in a vacuum. They picked it up from somewhere, from somebody. So I think we as older generations have to carry a lot of the weight for the condition that the youth are in today.
Definitely, yeah. It's it's picked up bad habits. It's all programming. Yeah, so that definitely reflects, like definitely growing up, I learned bad things to say because based off of older people I was around, like, oh, you don't say that, like, oh, but he said it. You know what I'm saying? It's all bad programming. Like we got and then it's all about the environment. They say a village raised a child. I probably messed up the phrase, but it's very important surroundings of a person's development. It can hinder a person, and then they just reflect on where they come from. So, they walk from where they come from.
And to add on what you had just said, the old adage of it takes a village to raise a child. Well, what do you do when you have a sick ass village?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sick children, man.
Preach.
So if you got a sick ass village, you can't produce healthy fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. So when do we start healing the village? You see?
Yeah.
So that's why I said we have to stop looking at things in isolated things and in vacuums, because that's not who we are as a people. We always look at things holistically, interconnectedly, and in its totality. And that's how we have to analyze the issue and how we have to solve the issue, because like I said, everything is interconnected. Everything.
Definitely.
So how do we stop the community from being toxic?
My thing, I've always said that revolution begins in a mirror. Everything begins with you. So what can you do on an everyday basis to conduct yourself and to live an upright, moral, righteous, and civilized life?